Welcome to the Making of the World as We Know It, where I'm going to talk about my processes and ideas and little thoughts about my film. After the museum trip, I had the idea of, the future and the past cities. So I decided to just doodle and play around a bit, picking out items that you would find in a city, graffiti, stuff that is relevant now, like war, nuclear bombs. And that's kind of what I focused on for a few days, just trying to get as many ideas onto paper as possible. I think it ended up going really well. It really helped me later on down the line, particularly in the script writing section of the film. The background designing aspect of this film was one of my favourite sections to do. I really enjoyed it more than I thought I would. Knowing that the film was going to be very dependent on the backgrounds for the storytelling aspect of the film, since they visualised the prosperity or decline of the city, depending on how you look at it, I decided to primarily use a lot of my time on the designs of the backgrounds, which had its pros and cons. But I thought, since it's so heavily dependent on the backgrounds, they have to be really good. For the first establishing shot and the final shot, which are very similar but very different at the same time, I used a reference photo of Manchester to make it personal to me in a way. I also knew that from the beginning I wanted there to be a few scenes that resemble each other but are slightly different. Particularly, you can see this in the establishing shot and the final shot, and in the background that you can see now. The future view of this, I decided to change a little bit. I didn't want all the scenes to be the exact same layout. So for this one, for the parallel side view, I wanted a futuristic shop that looks kind of decrepit, run down. I really like the back alley scenes. This is one of my favourite scenes to create. I love the way it changes, and it just looks so full of life and so beautiful. And the change from the cold colour palette to the warm colour palette really helped. Then once I'd completed all of the backgrounds, I moved on to the animatic. But before I did that, I did some pipelines, so let's rewind a tiny bit. I thought it would be really cool during the pipeline section to show off the development of the animation, particularly in the deer walk cycles. As you can see, it goes from this animatic section to line work to colour, which I think is really cool and shows the almost evolution of the deer design. However, for the first few deer walk cycles, they didn't go too great. I wasn't really thinking, so I'm glad I went back and improved. During the human asset creation and pipeline creation, a lot of mistakes were made, particularly in this scene with the legs being juttery and the hair kind of not working well. I was able to, because of these pipelines, I was able to go back and change it. Now back to the animatic. I really wanted it to be as open as possible and as simple as possible, so I could focus on the actual content of the film, the actual assets, the actual backgrounds, and that's why it's so different to the final film. There is a few things that are missed out in the animatic because I decided to add them later on in the animation phase. The animations are relatively simple in this film, largely consisting of walk cycles and items being thrown, cars driving past, birds, because I really wanted the backgrounds to really tell the story and sell the message of unity, and it's almost a warning of what could happen. I like the kind of robotic element of the human walk cycles, where they kind of feel all the same and not very unique, kind of a commentary on our society and how we kind of judge people for being a bit different or unique or not like us. Editing the whole thing was quite simple, using audio from Pixabay and some that I created myself. I was able to create some nice sounding scenes. And in the final glitch scene above, I wanted it to be impactful, so I used some editing skills I learned last semester to create this cool looking glitch transition. And here I am now, editing this video, which is really fun. Oh.
What?
I was just saying how you're editing the video.
But I'm here. How can I be on there as well? That doesn't make sense.
Well, obviously you're gonna edit this later, mate.
Well, if I'd known we were going to do this, I would have maybe cleaned my desk a little bit, make it look a bit nicer.
Let's not lie.
Yeah, you're right.
I know.
Can't lie.
I know, I'm right. Get back to work.
Okay.
Thank you for watching my making of film. I hope you enjoyed it.